All right, there's the website, skymirrorastrology.com/TV. It's no accident I call it Sky Mirror. I spent many years of study to come to an understanding. It's a mirror. Who's mirroring who, though? We don't know. Yeah, when you go to that website, here's what you'll see. Now, if you just use astrology or skymirrorastrology.com, you'll get the site for the app, but there's a little commercial for it here. Get this for your iPhone. You got an iPhone. Here's some data on getting your own chart done by me. Here's a picture of the old goat himself, Taurus rising. That's me. And here's my Amakua, Honu, the turtle. It's the only animal I know on Earth that constantly raises up his head to look at the sky, to see what's happening up here. Where's the moon? Where's the moon? That's what I try to do for you each week on this TV show, huh? Now, if you scroll down, what you'll get here is, like, here's the June 5th show. I'm on June 7th? And the June 5th show for Friday, just a couple days ago, is on here. And likewise, the May 29th show, May 22nd show, May 15th show, May 8th show, yeah, the April 24th show. So you can go back here and look at past shows, have some fun at your own leisure, okay? Hope you enjoy. Well, I got a lot to share with you. Let's start with the Sky Mirror and get the, so to speak, regular business out of the way. Show 968. The theme in the last week of June 2015 still has to do with this full moon that squared Neptune, and then Neptune slowed down and stopped in the Sky Mirror. I should have drawn Neptune really large. Kind of forgot. It squared and Mercury. It squared Mercury, and they both went direct on the 11th. Now, you're here on the 18th, probably on the Thursday night show, and that's only 1 week past the station. Usually you feel the vibes 20 days on either side of a station. Station means it slows down, stops, and reverses direction. Yeah, your consciousness just goes to the planet that slows down and stops. So we're going to talk more about Neptune, but first let's see. Here's the moon. It goes around this whole chart, around this pattern once a month. And if you're on the Friday night show, you got a new moon just a day or two ago, 26 Gemini. So you got a tiny sliver of a moon here. Now, Thursday night on the 18th is a nice trine to Saturn. You're on time. You got yourself organized. The moon's in late Cancer. It feels pretty good. Friday morning, the moon's in Leo. Changes, but the vibes are going to get better. The middle of Friday, here's a nice sextile to Mercury. And your mind is sharp and you can write things down. Communication goes well. The kids are happy. And up ahead here, Friday night, here's the Venus zone. Venus, here's a trick. Is that Venus is going from 13 to 20 degrees of Leo. Jupiter's at 21. So in another 11 days from where you're at right now, this is going to be exact. A Jupiter-Venus conjunction. Wow, hooray. I think what you'll find kind of amazing to start with is that when the moon goes by here, see, this moon's only going to be 2.5 days old, 3 days old, so it's just a sliver. And this will happen after the sun goes down. So let's say here's the horizon, okay? The whole chart goes around once a day. Here's the sun going down. Yes. Now after the sun goes down, 2 hours, 3 hours later, here's Venus. But of course, on Friday night, the moon will be here, and the moon will be below Venus, which has a green kind of blue color, and Jupiter, which is very bright and has an orange color. So you'll have the moon here, and Venus and Jupiter ought to be quite a sight in the sky. Yeah, the moon is going to set first on Friday night. On Saturday, the moon will be over here, and it'll be past Jupiter, and it'll set last. But you'll see that when, let's say, here's the setting point, okay, which is really the angle of the chart. When the moon goes by there, which will be Friday afternoon, evening, well, when you see it, you know, the moon set, that's mothering and nurturing, and everybody's thinking of that. And then Venus, the beautiful young diva, sets and be thinking about love, sex, and sweets. And finally Jupiter will set, the big orange giant, wisdom, laughing, fun, pleasure. This whole thing will go on for, you know, an hour as these guys hit that place of sunset. Sun goes down, it gets dark. Now the amazing thing about this is when the moon creeps up here Friday night, Saturday night, you'll see the moon just a little sliver. That's what you see on the Islamic flags, is that moon. There's a bright star right on the horns of the moon. That's Venus. Yes, the lesser benefic, Quetzalcoatl to a Mayan Aztec. So Venus on the horns of that little sliver of a moon, it says there's a lot of gentle, loving thoughts around. You should remember that dealing with Islamic nations. So quite a display. You're going to feel it Friday. Everybody's going to laugh when Jupiter sets, and they'll feel loving when Venus sets. Very nice. The moon goes by Jupiter Saturday in the middle of the day. They'll be laughing. It'll be fun, and there'll be enlightenment, huh? And just before it gets to Jupiter, there's a trine to Uranus. So this is, yeah, we still have this beautiful Uranus trine, and I know that Neptune is acting up and is a problem. You know, the religion, art, music, it's a problem. Mercury squared it. Hard to think. But over here, here's the higher mind, Uranus trining Jupiter, flashes of insight and enlightenment and common sense and new knowledge. It's very grounding, and you're going to get a lot of that Friday night, Saturday morning. So try not to go be busy. You want to have this time for yourself, for your own enlightenment and wisdom. Friday night, Saturday, clear through till Saturday night. Well, late Saturday night, early Sunday morning, here's sextiles to Mars and the Sun. And we're feeling active, and the hero in you is out. You want to go get things done and fix things. Yes. Go out there and see what damage you could get from the water problems that are up ahead. Yeah, because here they are. Moon goes into Virgo Sunday about breakfast time, and that square to Saturn, suddenly I realize I got problems. They come up more, you know, Sunday night, Monday morning. Here's the moon opposing Neptune. Yes. And squaring Mercury. And you ran out of gas. Liquids are a problem. Is it the ocean? Everybody's watching ocean. This is the most likely time for big storms. By now, too much rain and trees are falling down. And stuff is happening, and I can't communicate and transportate easily. And so this could be a large event time. Sunday, Monday. Yeah. You get some new information here Sunday or Monday afternoon with the trine to Pluto, but still you're going to feel that confusion from that Neptune thing. Confusion! Here Tuesday night, after dinner, the moon shifts into Libra. Everybody's a little angry and impatient Tuesday night with the square to Mars, but they're more organized. After they get angry, they get a little organized. And, yeah. It still won't get much done. There's a square to the Sun early Wednesday morning. There's a lot of nurturing going on here just around breakfast, before breakfast time on Wednesday, the moon in Libra. A little nurturing is a good thing here. Kids are happy. You're communicating Wednesday afternoon with the trine to Mercury. But here's that Uranus-Pluto square. Yeah, it's still going on. Pluto, Wednesday night. What's that? More policemen. Stop. Bang. Don't shoot. Hands up. All that stuff. Here's guns. Here's feel alone. Well, the aloneness comes up with the opposition to Uranus. And there it is. So that's the middle of Thursday. So your Thursday morning is likely to be full of these power and control issues. I said stop, you didn't stop, so I shot him dead. And Uranus sings, I feel alone and can't something be done. It's all caught on video. Thursday morning. Wisdom comes out Thursday night. Yeah, there's a trine to Jupiter. The lawyers, professors say, did you see that? We're going to try to fix some of this. Hope they do. Friday morning, the moon's still in Libra at first, and by the time you get to early Friday morning, here's the trine to Mars. You can get physical, get out and start getting things fixed again. Friday at breakfast, after breakfast, between breakfast and lunch, the moon shifts into Scorpio. The vibes all change. There's a nice trine to the sun Friday night, the 26th. Make some plans. And real late Friday, this is actually Saturday morning, about 2 a.m., 3 a.m., 4 a.m. Here's the trine to Neptune. Now I understand why the water washed out the tree root and the tree root fell down, and I can fix some of this stuff. Hopefully. Saturday afternoon, here's Jupiter and Venus, and they're not happy. The moon's squaring them. You're going to want to go find some pleasure and have some laughs. Everybody's overdoing it. Too much laughing, too much gluttony, too much pleasure, too many smiling girls. Yes. You can overdo those things, believe it or not. Well, you will Saturday night. Sunday, there's a conjunction to Saturn. You're dehydrated. Oh, you drank too much Saturday night. So on the 28th, drink a lot of water. Put a little tablespoon of seawater in your fresh water to help you out. Yeah, make a plan. Moon's going by Saturn. It's it's after lunch here, between lunch and dinner. And it's a good time to crystallize some of the things you need to work on. All right, we're going to talk about Neptune. I was going to talk about religion, then I realized it's probably more important to talk about chemistry. Neptune is organic chemistry in particular. And, this is amazing coincidence, but, I'm cleaning out some stuff looking for something on the Raven, and I wound up with The Silent Spring, a book that I had carefully put away 50 years ago. So here it is. This is what you find on Amazon. You can get a copy of Silent Spring for like $4 used. Buy it. Buy it. You want some education about pesticides, herbicides, what's happened with the chemical companies? I worked for Dow for a while. Whew. You know how they started? They went for a water well down in a basement church in Midland, and they wound up with some brine. It wasn't just salt water, 3%, it was 10%, 15%. So they took the salt out of it. I once worked at Seal Beach at the Dow plant for a little bit there. And on the old Dow plant at Seal Beach, there were acres of bathtubs. They were just evaporating seawater to get the salt. Chemicals, huh? Of course, it's different now, isn't it? Now that you have Monsanto in the game. And Silent Spring, starts, DD3, of course. Wow. But it's not just that. It's Deldrin and Aldrin and some terrible 2,4-D spectricide, ortho. I mean, there are worse things out there than Roundup. Roundup isn't so hot, but the way to educate yourself, get a copy of Silent Spring, and I'm sure it will be worth your while for $4. I tell you, it's strange. When I decided to get out of Dow Chemical, I quit. They were all upset. Couldn't understand it. But this is 1962. Silent Spring came out with Rachel Carson. It's not just a book about DDT. But I put it away and immigrated to Hawaii, and now I find it in an old box. And wow, I start reading it again. And oh, wow, what did I learn? Well, first of all, she goes through these molecules and tells you how they're made and makes it real simple, so that you learn, what these carbon things are. These are methanes, huh? And You take a methane CH4 and put something else on it and you get something else. The worst thing you put on is a chlorine, Cl. Chlorines is really a grabby molecule. Chlorine grabs a hold with that one bond and it won't let go. So I went through, and she was through all of these quickly. And among the insecticides, some of the worst are insecticides because they're chlorinated hydrocarbons. They persist. They don't degrade. Do you remember what heptachlor was? If it has chlor in its name, look out. Yeah, they put heptachlor on pineapple to kill the ants, and then they chopped the tops off the pineapple and gave them to the dairy cows, wound up in the milk, wound up in mother's milk. You can go to Oahu and find, that human mother's milk will still have heptachlor. It's persistent. Yeah, chlordine, deldrin, aldrin. These are really nasty things. I got involved with Myrex, young graduate student at UH. Must have been 30 PhDs got together. Oh, we can use Myrex to kill the ants up in the pineapple because we don't have anything else. Oh, I know the EPA outlawed Myrex, but we can use it safely. They convinced some academics or somebody to do it. They sprayed, well, what they did is they put Myrex in kerosene, soaked it up in ground corn cobs, ground up corn cobs with kerosene and Myrex in it, dropped them from helicopters up on top, all over Wahiawa. Any place there was pineapple, yes, Lanai, Molokai. And so they checked all the little stream beds going down from these places. And I got the reports and gave them out to all the PhDs. And the kid who was sampling the little stream that went down to Westlock happened to go down after 2-3 years of putting Myrex on, didn't see it. It wasn't in the little worms, wasn't in the little organisms in the stream beds, no. But he put a fish from Westlock in, it was in that fish. Because the oil wet corncob pieces floated all the way down the stream. These guys missed it. All that list of PhDs polluted it. You can find Myrex in mother's milk, especially in Waipahu. Some of these things are really nasty, like here's the problem of termites. I tried to get them to stop putting underground termites in on this island, and they listened, but they wouldn't act. On Oahu, they call them legacy pollutants. A legacy pollutant is something it's our legacy, nothing we can do about it. See, you can't eat any of the fish or the crawdads out of Oahu streams or lakes. The reason is because it's aldrin and endrin, some of the worst, were used to kill termites. They started building houses of cheap wood. The termites come and eat it. The wood still had water in it. It wasn't kiln dried. So, okay, we're just going to put pesticide. We're going to put termite killer all around the house. Thing is, underground termite killer migrated down to the streams and the lakes. The whole island is polluted with underground termicides. It's their legacy. Eek! When you go to herbicides, she talks a lot about it. Tumors and mutagens, things that skip generations. So the herbicides, in fact, Rachel Carson does some amazing stuff. She talks, remember pentachlorophenol? They paint the end of 2x4s with it to stop the termites from getting into the cheap wood. I saw some guys on Kauai that used that cut off ends of those things to barbecue some, and a couple carpenters died. 2,4-D, 2,4-T, these are terrible things. Crabgrass killer. I notice now that Roundup is in question, all you see on TV is ortho and spectricide. These are worse, 2,4-Ds. Oh yeah, we're going to fill in for Roundup. The thing with Roundup is it just isn't out to kill some weeds and muck up your ground for a while. It actually, you wind up with a bunch of crops, and they actually use a lot more pesticide, more Roundup on these crops than they ordinarily would, and they're not going to do any other methods. Rachel Carson talks about how in Australia I told you that they use seawater, but they also have a method along the roadside. What they do is they let the weeds grow to a certain height. So, they get up to be about 3-4 feet, so drivers can still see over it, but it blocks headlights, And and then if some larger trees sprout, well, they wait till they're about 1 inch to 2 inches in diameter, and they'll cut the larger trees, and they'll keep them down to small stuff, which has not only no more pesticides, and it soaks up the rainwater, and it looks pretty. You can put flowers in it along the roadsides and in the center strips, but it makes a soft landing. If you have a problem, I got a flat tire, you run off the road. On the big island, you hit lava. If they let the bougainvillea grow and other things grow, things that, let them grow and use them as soft landings. That's what they do in Australia. I noticed in Mexico, they have a bunch of stuff in them. They have a divided highway in the center. There's a bunch of 6, 8 foot, 10 foot little tree shrubs, things. They don't water them. They don't pesticide them. They let them grow. Cut your headlights down. Can't see the other guys glare in your eyes. And you got soft landings if you go off the road. This is a win-win situation. Oh no, wait a minute. The chemical company has a cheaper way to do it. What happened? The chemical companies came in. Well, how did we get in this situation? DDT, 2,4-D, Roundup. We got in this situation because certain public servants were put in positions where they gave permits to this. How could we be doing this with Roundup? How could we wind up with all these crops, these GMO crops? I mean, this is a crazy thing. Why? Because a few people in government, academics and people in government who were given that position, Lord knows why, made these terrible decisions, gave them permits. It goes back to the Queen saying, 007, you can go, here's a license to kill. Here's the first original. I don't get into it, but the problem is that we have incompetent people in these positions who give out the right to do these things, and once you have that right, it's really hard to stop them, isn't it? I mean, look at TMT. Hawaiians, Ray, Halion Hawaiians, stop that big telescope, get them off the mountain. Here our governor comes out, well, they have the right to build. They don't have the right to build. A lot of the cronies in government and in these permitting organizations signed off. Like those 30 PhDs on the MIREX sign off. Oh yeah, this is okay. They signed off on it, and they were wrong. And we got stuck with it all. We got stuck with MIREX, Heptachlor, Roundup. We're stuck with we're going to be stuck with that huge TMT, I hope not. Halion Hawaiians, I'm proud of you. Stop the Roundup on our island. Stop the pesticides. You stop the Roundup, you'll stop the GMOs. Hooray! Ho, 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 ho. Very strange thing. I'm working on saving the sacred raven. They think it was a wild animal. It was a house pet. But we're changing it. And here in the book, this is a really good book. If you want to know the history, how close these guys came to total extinction. Extinction is forever. In August 1978, they were trying to they had 3 birds up at Poakaloa. This guy went in and he sprayed the aviary with the herbicide Roundup. What, Roundup? 1978. And they lost 2 out of 3 of their birds. They killed those ravens. A nest, oh, amazing. One of my favorite artists, Maxfield Parrish. Yeah, Maxfield Parrish, 1870 to 1966. Did all these amazing paintings. It's kind of like heaven, huh? The title of this one's called Dreaming. Yes, the reason I'm showing it to you is that to me, I keep this in my workstation to remind me things aren't quite what you think they are. But dreaming is about Neptune, isn't it? You know, how can you tell a dream from reality? So many of the Neptune things we're dealing with, these organic chemicals that are slowly giving us all cancer and nobody can prove it, nobody's working on it. We're dreaming, huh? Neptune has a way of clouding the issues, making them hard to see, and you wake up in the morning, is it a dream or is it reality? It's Neptune stuff, huh? What do you mean you want some opium for your pain? It's illegal. What do you mean smoke pot so your little girl doesn't get the geez, this is, we've outlawed these things. The priests have outlawed real religion. The doctors have outlawed real drugs. They've outlawed, what did they do? They got privileged people, positions. They fill these up. They give out permits to poison us. Excuse me. I think permits to poison given by privileged persons. My God. This must be a bad dream, huh? Yeah, we've got some real flaws in our type of government. Representatives? Who's the representative? Lots of times they're Neptune. What's a movie star doing in the office of the presidency? What's Arnold Schwarzenegger or Ronald Reagan doing there? You know, how come there's so many actors acting out their roles everywhere? Neptune actors. What are they? Priests, doctors, artists, musicians, gays, LGBTs. They got something to hide. They're good at acting. Next thing you know, they're passing out permits to poison us. From their privileged positions, these persons act. And you go to the root of it, the university that gave them that PhD is very questionable. Here we have all these doctors. None of them know about real natural drugs. None of them know about nutrition. They're just pandering to the drug companies. They took out the School of Public Health at UH and put in an MD school, John Burns. They're training MDs, to put more drugs on us instead of training public health people to go dig out the real cause of your cancers, which is Mirex and Heptachlor and Ortho and Spectracide and, it doesn't come out till later. Just check your TV. There's a new drug on the market from the big pharma companies. Every week there's a new drug. I mean, they make up these amazing words that don't have any patents on them. Every week a new drug. Every week a new lawyer gets on there and says, hey, you hurt by this? Come and see me. Neptune is a very tricky character. Pisces, huh? Two little fish. Hard to stay ahead of. Aloha. Come back next week.